Well, we've just seen Richard Evatt getting beaten. Here's one of his best mates, David Kehoe of Northampton. They used to share a house together, these two, when they were training with Matchroom down in Romford in Essex. Kehoe, who needs a win, in with Mark Hawthorne. Only his second professional fight tonight, the 27-year-old former ABA champion. On his debut, he won in 81 seconds. Hawthorne in the red trunks from Lowestoft in East Anglia. Not being unfair to that fishing port, I think, when I say that it's not really been a fight town until now. Maybe Hawthorne can change that.
Even though Kehoe's on a long losing run, he's still giving away quite a bit of experience here, Hawthorne. Still a big jump. Just going for his second fight in with somebody who's had 20 fights.
Last time we saw Kehoe featured on Sky was disqualified against British title contender Stephen Smith at Bethnal Green. An ugly brawl, and he was thrown out in the second round, Kehoe. He said he was only trying to break Smith's rhythm at the time, but we saw it a little differently from that, as did the referee.
Break a few other things, I think.
Well, Hawthorne will have enjoyed his professional debut and the quick win. Now he might just find he has to go a little further, which won't do him any harm. Help him to settle in this professional business. As we've seen so many times, good amateurs don't necessarily make good pros. In fact, more often than not, they don't.
Yes, it's always nice to get that first one out of the way, especially when you get done as quick as you can, but after that you do have to settle into the tough road in boxing.
Well, as recently as Saturday, we saw a former Olympic champion suffer a shattering defeat in Michael Carruth. Good left hook from Hawthorne. Referee Lee Cook having to warn them a couple of times in this first round about the heads coming close together.
That was a good left hook. I didn't like the reaction from Kehoe. He dropped his hands rather strangely. And it was just fortunate for him, the referee broke him at that time.
Trying to psych himself up, Kehoe, by slapping his gloves together. Third warning for use of the heads. Good right hand from Kehoe. All sorts of bravado. Oh, and he almost went in there with his head straight in. Kehoe. Oh, that was outrageous, really, wasn't it?
Well, that was terrible. I think he's complaining because he feels he was nutted or whatever just before, and he's got a cut on the brow of the head, and I think he was trying to get his own back a little bit there, but it was bad.
Well, it was a deliberate attempt at a headbutt from Kehoe, who wants to walk back. We're just across the road from Aston Villa football ground here, just across the car park, in fact, at the Villa Leisure Centre. Kehoe here in this undercard fight, still complaining about the heads banging together, but then he tried that headbutt.
Well, there's where they passed. I mean, that was accidental. They both just moved into range together.
Second round. Former ABA champion Mark Hawthorne from Lowestoft in the red trunks here will have won the first round. Good combination punching from him. Kehoe will look to just rough him up a lot. Without a win in his last 10, the Northampton fighter. Good hand speed from Hawthorne. Really land flush, though. There's that little gesture, idiosyncrasy of Kehoe slapping his gloves together, trying to get himself moving.
Well, I'm not sure it's a good idea, because all I'd look for if I was fighting him is every time he went to slap his gloves, I'd hit him with a shot.
Cracking counter shots from Hawthorne, showing good boxing skills and composure so far. Some light on his feet, Hawthorne, using his amateur skills that served him pretty well. Can take a little left from Kehoe, left himself a little open to that.
Well, he's keeping his composure, Hawthorne, but he's got to keep busy, he's got to keep that jab working.
Still to come tonight, our Commonwealth title fight, top of the bill, featuring Bradford's Bobby Vansey.
Watch your head.
Again, a warning for use of the heads from the referee. Left hand. Hawthorne doing nearly all the work that matters so far.
For you, Leicester against Gloucester, exclusive live coverage from Welford Road starting Tuesday night, 7:30 Sky Sports 2. It's a lightweight affair tonight here in Birmingham.
Corners 10 seconds.
Back to our couple of lightweights.
I wish I was, Paul. Thanks very much indeed.
Second down.
Third round coming up of this one, a little four-rounder. The favourite in the red trunks, Mark Hawthorne. I think he's won both rounds so far, the former ABA champ, against David Kehoe of Northampton, who's gone a long time without a victory.
I was a lightweight when I was born, Ian. Long outgrew that.
Kehoe out of range most of the time. There's another sharp left hook from Hawthorne, who's doing nothing wrong here, making a reasonable impression for a youngster in only his second pro fight. Well, he's not that young, is he, at 27?
No, he's the fighter that they're going to have to put a move on with.
Watch your head.
He's boxing well, he's keeping his cool, and I think that's the most important thing here. Keep your cool, keep your boxing together, and just, you know, keep your range.
Too late to turn pro, though, 27?
Not really, not really. And there's still a few good years in. There'll not be that many miles on the clock.
Well, Lennox Lewis turned pro pretty late, didn't he? Didn't do him much harm.
No, I don't think it is, because you're just becoming maturer. You know, some fighters can just adapt to the pros very early, and some it's better to let them mature into it.
And after that rumbustious opening round, they actually touched gloves at the end of the second. Can't get into the fight, can he, Kehoe here?
He hasn't really got the speed or the rhythm. He's trying in his own way to be rugged and get inside, but just a nicer boxer, Hawthorne.
Too many moves for him. Reach advantage as well, speed advantage, skill advantage. So Kehoe, in bad form, is just struggling on a number of fronts here. It's a good right hand, well picked from Hawthorne. Apart from his ABA title win, he was also a semi-finalist twice. So that is good amateur pedigree. cut that Kehoe picked up in that opening round with the clash of heads has not proved a major problem. Now he wants to languish on those ropes, maybe looking for a counter or something, Kehoe, but he thinks better of that. Hawthorne wasn't buying it anyway. This round, Kehoe was doing a little bit of, I don't know, psychological warfare, as if he'd been badly hurt by the shot from Hawthorne. I think he was just trying to take the mickey a little bit out of it, but it was a decent shot, and he's winning every round, Hawthorne.
Yes, that was a good left hand from Hawthorne, a good right one there. He's the cleaner boxer. He's landing with all the telling punches.
Last round, and on my scorecard, and I suspect Glenn's as well, Kehoe already needs a knockout because he's lost everything so far. Good right hand from Hawthorne, who's showing some nice skills here. He's making a pretty good impression, isn't he?
Yes, it's early in his career, but he's doing quite well here, keeping his head nicely. And you know, that's one of the things when they come from the amateur to the professional, they're normally not very cool about it all, in a rush too much. And this, you know, he's shown good patience.
So maybe here a developing pro that can give East Anglia something to shout about. And Kehoe going through all kinds of little routines. It would all be more convincing if he was doing more in the fight, wouldn't it?
Yes, he's trying a few things. One of them is trying to pull the head off Hawthorne in the clinches. And through the couple of punches there, Kehoe.
Well, he wants to gamble a bit. As Paul Dempsey was saying beforehand, he's quite a character, this David Kehoe. That must have been some house he and Richard Evatt shared, mustn't it? Getting a little sloppy defensively, Hawthorne, in this last round. Needs to just keep his composure, as he's been dominating so far. Kehoe trying to draw him in, try to wind him up a little. Now that's better. Again, oh, and now leads with the head again for the second time. A referee, Lee Cook, says to him, look, try that once more and you're out of here. And that is something we've seen before from this fellow, and he really has to cut that out.
Yes, he just reacts wrongly, and that's a silly thing to do, and you know, he's just going to get himself into trouble.
Temperament, big question mark for Kehoe.
Well, I think he's wanting Hawthorne to react, but Hawthorne just doing the right thing, keeping cool, just taking him up at long range and making Kehoe look rather silly.
Scything away with attempted haymakers, Kehoe. But the truth is, since a quick win on his debut, things have gone pretty awry for him, and he's lost again here. Hawthorne was a convincing winner, won every round. Certainly on the cards of Glenn and I. Don't know about the referee, we'll find out about that in a moment. He's got a bit of support as well, the lowest off fighter, and that was a thoroughly good second professional appearance from him in the face of an opponent who really does need to get his ring discipline together a little.
Well, that's all part of the learning process. I mean, Kehoe needs to stick to the boxing. But it was good from Hawthorne, kept his cool. And what on earth was he trying to do there? Very, very silly.
The referee took a lenient view. It was the second time in the contest he'd done that, and if he'd been thrown out, he couldn't have complained.
He couldn't have. I mean, he was also wide open for an uppercut or any other shot.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 rounds of boxing, referee Lee Cook has scored that For Kehoe, 37 points. For Hawthorne, 40 points. He's still undefeated. From Aston, Hawthorne.
Well, one of the rounds was scored level, everything else to Hawthorne.